Next we got an exercise ball, alright? You can get these at any of your local sports stores. Now, the stretches that I'm going to show you, you can most certainly use a shelf, or if any of you have played golf, you've been seeing me do it on the side of a golf cart. Any of that works. What's great about the exercise ball is it rolls around, alright? And you're able to go into different positions very easily. Now, with a fixed object, you don't have that ease, and it can be almost frustrating. Plus, it gives a little bit, and like I said, the thing about stretching is find a point that feels good as you stretch, and throw biomechanics out the window. All right? If it feels good, no matter what the position looks like, keep stretching. Using the same principles as the lacrosse ball, that's the more hands-on, the real deep tissue work. But we also, now that we've broken those apart, most of the time that tightness or that pain comes because the muscles are tight. So we're going to use this exercise ball to really stretch out those same muscles that you just rolled out, plus our anterior or our internal rotators, you know, our pecs and things like that, to help you loosen up the shoulders. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to place the ball in front of you. Put the palm of your hand down on the ball, and what I want you to think about doing is dropping your shoulder joint into the floor, and really just relax. And after about 10 seconds of holding that, what I want you to do is take the palm of your hand and press it to the floor. Alright? Now you might get some pain underneath your armpit, on top of your shoulder, in your scapula. That's good pain, alright? I want you to press that heel for about 6 seconds. Now you can mess around, you can do, 50% of effort, so going about 50% as hard as you possibly can, or you can go as hard as you possibly can. Either way, I want you to press the heel of your hand into the ball. After those 6 seconds, I want you to release the shoulder. Alright? After you release the shoulder, I want you to go and try to go to a deeper stretch. So you're trying to bring your armpit or the head of your humerus to the floor. Now you might feel a little bit more pain, you might feel a little bit more stretching. As long as it's manageable pain and it feels like it's releasing, that's okay pain. If you get a sharp pain or a twinge, stop what you're doing, try it another day. Now you can hold that and do that, what we would call P&F stretching, right? Proprio neuromuscular facilitation. All right, that's what that press and then or contract, relax. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to also do it with your hand out to your side, and now, like I said, we're going to do that pectoralis major, as well as what we would say is your internal rotators. So same thing with your hand out to the side. Now really drop that shoulder joint towards the floor and just relax. After about 10 seconds, let's do that P&F stretch again. So I want you to press the heel of your hand into the ball. All right, hold for 6 seconds, relax, reset, and then try to drop in further. Alright, so the next stretch we're going to do, we're actually going to be laying over the exercise ball. Now, the key here is when you look at the scapula and the way we were built anatomically, there's only one bony attachment with the scapula. Now, with that, we have a lot of muscles in between, along our ribs and everything, holding that scapula in place. Well, those muscles can get very tight, and when we go to swing a golf club, do an overhead stroke, a serve in the tennis game, or anything like that, if the scapula isn't moving like it's supposed to, that's when we can tear rotator cuffs, that's when we get that anterior shoulder pain. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to drive our hip into the ball, what I would call a scissor stance, alright, spread our feet nice and wide. Now, the width doesn't matter, as long as you feel stable on the ball. Alright, after you do that scissor stance, I want you to take your hand closest to the ball, lay it on the floor for stability. Alright, after that, once we have a nice stable position, I want you to take your opposite hand over your head, bring your bicep to your ear, and you're going to feel a nice stretch through your ribs, serratus area. Okay, that's the muscle we're trying to stretch, as well as your obliques. They are another scapular stabilizer, and if they are tight, if we're tight in here, our shoulder blades are tight, then our shoulders are tight, and it all starts in the torso. So that's what we're stretching here. After you take that bicep to your ear. I want you then to bend the arm behind your head, okay, and stretch a little bit further. Now, whichever one feels good for you is the one I want you to do. So if it feels better with the straight arm, almost pointing to the wall, or bent arm, whichever one works for you and you get the best stretch through our side is what you want, what I want. So every other movement I've showed you so far has had a P&F stretch along with it. When you're in that scissor stance, the hip, and you're laying over the exercise ball, there's not a great way to do P&F with your scapular stabilizers. All right? So what you do is you want to hook it onto something, lay down on the ball, wrap your hand through the strap, and then pull against that strap. All right? At that point, again, hold for 6 seconds, then relax, and then almost fall off the ball, still holding onto that strap, and you're going to feel an even deeper stretch. All right? So that's a little bit more of an advanced one, but if you're not feeling any stretches from the first ones, then let's try it with the strap. The next stretch is our hip flexor stretch. All right? Along with our tight external rotators, our hip flexors are going to be something that's going to be just as tight, and that's one of the fundamental things that we find with your low back pain, all right, from being on your feet too long, skiing, bending over and lifting a box, anything like that. Our hip flexors can become very tight, and then we feel the residual pain in our lower back. So what we're going to do here is we're going to jump down on both knees. All right, then I want you to put the top of your foot on top of the ball with one leg behind you. Once you have your balance, I want you to bring the opposite leg that is not on the ball up, and so the foot is now flat. All right, and then I want you to think about contracting your glutes, your butt muscle, and pushing your hips forward. Okay, at that point you're going to feel an incredible stretch from the bottom of your knee all the way up into your core. All right. Then, after we hold that for about 10 seconds, we're going to do the P&F stretch again. I want you to think about trying to pull your knee along the floor without moving it. All right? P&F is just contracting the muscle without shortening or lengthening it. So as we really try to pull that hip through, about 6 seconds, I want you to reset, and then come in and try to do a deeper stretch. Again, if leaning forward feels a little bit better, leaning to the side, whatever feels the best, you get that stretch on that hip flexor, that's the most important part. All right, then we'll switch to the other side.